Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will start a new topic named indefinite integrals. In today's lecture, we will see the concepts and theories of indefinite integrals. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Let's start with the topics we will cover in today's lecture. First, we will start with the integral as an antiderivative. We have seen what is derivative, right? So integral is also known as antiderivative, right? After that, we will see the properties of indefinite integrals. After that, we will move to the fundamental integration formulas, and in the last, we will discuss the methods, different methods of integration, right? So let's start with the topic integral as an antiderivative. A function phi x is called an antiderivative of function fx if phi dash x is equal to fx. If f1x and f2x are two antiderivatives of fx, then f1x and f2x differ by a constant, right? The collection of all the antiderivatives is called indefinite integral of fx and is denoted by integration of c. This sign is basically of integration, and is denoted by integration of fx dx, right? Thus, differentiation of phi x plus c differentiation of phi x plus c with respect to dx will be equal to fx, and this implies integration of fx dx is equal to phi x plus c. Clear? Where phi x is an antiderivative of fx is integrand, fx is called integrand, and c is an arbitrary constant. C is an arbitrary constant known as constant of integration. Antiderivative of odd function is always even, and of even function is always odd, right? Clear? You have to remember this, right? Now, let's discuss properties of indefinite integrals. There are different properties of indefinite integrals. Let's discuss one by one. Integration of fx plus minus gx dx is equal to integration of fx dx plus minus integration of gx dx, right? Second, integration of k fx dx is equal to k times integration of fx dx, where k is any non-zero real number, right? K is any non-zero real number. Now, integration of k1 f1x plus k2 f2x till kn fnx dx can be written as k1 integration of f1x plus k2 integration of f2x till kn integration of fnx, right, dx, where k1 k2 till kn are non-zero real numbers, right? Where k1 k2 till kn are non-zero real numbers. Clear? So these are basically the basic properties of indefinite integrals. You have to remember these. Next is fundamental integration formulas. So there are some basic fundamental formula which are given below. So let's discuss each and every formula one by one. First is basic polynomial formula, that is integration of x to the power n dx. These are algebraic formulas. So integration of x to the power n dx can be written as x to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c, where n should not be equal to minus 1, right? Integration of ax plus b to the power n dx can be written as equal to 1 by a into ax plus b to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c, where n not equal to 1, right? Also, integration of 1 by x dx is basically log mod x plus c, right? And integration of 1 by ax plus b dx is equal to 1 by a log mod of ax plus b plus c. Clear? You have to remember this. Also, integration of 1 by a square minus x square is dx. Integration of 1 by a square minus x square dx is basically 1 by 2a log a plus x upon a minus x plus c. Also, integration of 1 by x square minus a square dx is equal to 1 by 2a log mod x minus a upon x plus a plus c. Integration of 1 dx upon a square plus x square is equal to 1 by a tan inverse x by c plus c. Right. Next, eighth, integration of minus dx upon a square plus x square is equal to 1 by a cot inverse x by a plus c. Right. You have to keep in mind. Next one is integration of dx upon root over x square minus a square is integration of dx upon root over x square minus a square is basically log mod x plus root over x square minus a square plus c. Next, part 10 is equal to integration of dx upon root over x square plus a square is basically log mod x plus root over x square plus a square plus c. Right. So these are basically algebraic formula you have to keep in mind. Right. Next one is next algebraic formulas are number 11. Integration of 1 by root over a square minus a square dx is sine inverse x by a plus c. Clear? And integration of minus root over a square minus x square dx is equal to cos inverse x by a plus c. Clear? You must keep in mind that see, differentiation of right hand side is basically left hand side. Therefore, integration of left hand side will be right hand side. Next one, integration of 1 by x root over x square minus a square dx is equal to 1 by a sec inverse x by a plus c. Number 14, integration of minus 1 upon x root over x square minus a square dx is basically 1 by a cosec inverse x by a plus c. Next, part 15 is equal to integration of root over a square minus x square dx is equal to 1 by 2 x root over a square minus x square plus 1 by 2 a square sine inverse x by a plus c. Next one is 16. Integration of root over x square minus a square dx is equal to 1 by 2x root over x square minus a square minus 1 by 2 a square log mod x plus root over x square minus a square plus c. Next one is next one is 17. Integration of x square plus a square dx is basically 1 by 2 x root over x square plus a square plus 1 by 2 a square log mod x plus root over x square minus x square plus a square plus c. You have to remember these things, right? The formula is a little long, but you can apply some technique to remember this, right? If here it is minus, then here it is minus again, right? Like this. Clear? So in this way you can remember this. Now let's see formula of integration of some trigonometric functions. First one is integration of sin x dx is basically minus cos x plus c. Integration of cos x dx is basically sin x plus c. Integration of tan x dx is minus log mod cos x plus c, or it can be written as log mod sec x plus c. Next, integration of cot x dx is basically log mod sin x plus c is equal to minus log mod cosec x plus c. Right, you have to keep in mind. Next one is integration of fifth part, integration of sec x dx is equal to log mod sec x plus tan x plus c, or it can be also written as log mod tan pi by 4 plus x by 2 log mod tan pi by 4 plus x by 2 plus c. Integration of cosec x dx is basically log mod cosec x minus cot x plus c, which is equal to log mod tan x by 2 plus c. Next one, integration of sec square x dx is equal to tan x plus c. Next one is integration of cosec square x dx is equal to minus cot x plus c. Right. Next one is integration of sec x tan x dx is equal to sec x plus c, and integration of cosec x cot x dx is equal to minus cosec x plus c. Next is exponential formula. Integration of e to the power x dx is equal to e to the power x plus c, and integration of e to the power ax plus b dx is equal to 1 by a e to the power ax plus b plus c. Right. Integration of a to the power ax plus b dx is equal to 1 by a e to the power ax plus b plus c. Next one is integration of a to the power x dx is equal to a to the power x upon log ea plus c when a greater than 0 and a not equal to 1. Next one is integration of a to the power bx plus c dx is basically 1 by b into a to the power bx plus c upon log ea plus c when a greater than 0 and a not equal to 1, right? A greater than 0 and a not equal to 1. You have to keep in mind. Got it? Next one is methods of integration. So let's discuss different methods of integrations. First method is following methods are used for integration. Method 1 is integration by substitution. So the method of reducing a given integral into one of the standard integrals by proper substitution is called method of substitution, right? To evaluate an integral of the form integration of f of gx into g dash x dx, we substitute gx is equal to t, so that g dash x dx is equal to t dt, and given integral reduces to integration of ft dt, right? Now note that integration of fx to the power n into f dash x is equal to fx to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c, right? So integration of fx to the power n into f dash x is equal to fx to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. Next one is if integration of fx dx is equal to phi x, then integration of f of ax plus b dx is equal to 1 by a phi of ax plus b plus c. Next one is to evaluate integrals of the form integration of dx upon ax square plus bx plus c, or integration of dx upon root over ax square plus bx plus c, or integration of root over ax square plus bx plus c dx. We write ax square plus bx plus c is equal to a times x square plus b by ax plus c by a, right? You have to keep in mind. You have to substitute these things. These are the basically integration by methods of substitution. Also, it can be further expanded as c. A times x square plus b by ax plus c by a can be further expanded as a times x plus b by a whole square plus c by a minus b square by 4c, right? Now this process, by doing this process, reduces the integral to one of the following forms, and the following forms will be dx upon root integration of dx upon x square minus a square, integration of dx upon x square plus a square, or integration of dx upon a square minus x square, or integration of dx upon root over a square minus x square, integration of dx over root over x square minus a square, integration of dx over root over x square plus a square, or integration of root over a square minus x square dx, or integration of root over x square minus a square dx, or integration of root over a square plus x square dx, right? So the above conversion in this form will reduces the integrals in these forms, and integration of these forms we have just discussed, right? You have to remember, right? Now to evaluate integration of the form px plus q upon ax square plus bx plus c dx, or integration of px plus q upon root over ax square plus bx plus c dx, or integration of px plus q root over ax square plus bx plus c dx, we put px plus q is equal to a differentiation of ax square plus bx plus c plus b, where a and b can be found by comparing the coefficients of like powers of x on the two sides, right? Clear? We'll compare the coefficients of a and b, where a and b can be found by comparing the coefficients of like powers of x on two sides, right? So you have to keep in mind. Now, integration using trigonometric identities. In this method, we have to evaluate the integrals of the form integration of sine mx into cos nx dx, or integration of sine mx into sine nx dx, or integration of cos mx into cos nx dx, or integration of cos mx into sine nx dx, right? So in this method, we use the following trigonometric identities, which are 2 sine a cos b is equal to sine a plus b plus sine a minus b. Second, 2 cos a sine b is equal to sine a plus b minus sine a minus b. 2 cos a cos b is equal to cos a plus b plus cos a minus b. 2 sin a sin b is equal to cos a minus b minus cos a plus b. 2 sin a cos b is equal to sin 2a. Next one is cos square a is equal to 1 plus cos 2a upon 2. Sin square a is equal to 1 minus cos 2a upon 2. Next one is cos square a minus sin square a is equal to cos 2a. Next one is sin square a minus plus cos square a is equal to 1. Now integration of different types of function. To evaluate integrals of the form integration of sin to the power px into cos to the power qx dx, where pq belongs to q, we use the following rules. And the rules are If p is odd, then put cos x is equal to t. If q is odd, then put sin x is equal to t, right? If both p and q are odd, then put either sin x equal to t or cos x equal to t. And if both p, q are even, then use trigonometric identities only, right? Next one is if p, q are rational numbers and p plus q minus 2 upon 2 is a negative integer, then you have to put cos x equal to t or tan x equal to t as required, right? Also, to evaluate integrals of the form integration of dx upon a plus b cos square x, or dx upon integration of dx upon a plus b sin square x, or integration of dx upon a sin square x plus b cos square x, or integration of dx upon a sin x plus b cos x whole square, or integration of dx upon a plus b sin square x plus c cos square x, divide both the numerator and denominator by cos square x, right? You have to keep in mind, right? Replace, and after that replace sec square x by 1 plus tan square x in the denominator, if any. Put tan x equal to t, so that sec square x dx is equal to dt. Now evaluate integral of the form. To evaluate integral of the form, integration of 1 upon a sin x plus b cos x dx, or integration of 1 upon a plus b sin x dx, or integration of 1 upon a plus b cos x dx, or integration of 1 upon a sin x plus b cos x plus c dx. Put sin x equal to 2 tan x by 2 plus 2 tan x by 2 upon 1 plus tan square x by 2, and cos x is equal to 1 minus tan square x by 2 upon 1 plus tan square x by 2. Replace 1 plus tan square x by 2 by sec square x by 2 and put tan x by 2 equal to t. To evaluate integral of the form, integration of a sin x plus b cos x upon c sin x plus d cos x dx, we write a sin x plus b cos x equal to a times d upon dx of c sin x plus d cos x plus b times of c sin x plus d cos x, where a and b can be found by equating the coefficient of sin x and cos x on both the sides, right? We have to remember and keep in mind these things, okay? Next one is to evaluate integral of the form integration of a sin x plus b cos x plus c upon p sin x plus q cos x plus r dx. We write a sin x plus b cos x plus c is equal to a times d upon dx of p sin x plus q cos x plus r plus b times of p sin x plus q cos x plus r is plus c, where a, b and c can be found by equating the coefficient of sin x, cos x and the constant term. Also, to evaluate integral of the form integration of x square plus 1 upon x to the power 4 plus kx square plus 1 dx, or integration of x square minus 1 upon x to the power 4 plus kx square plus 1 dx, we divide the numerator and denominator by x square and make perfect square in denominator as x plus minus 1 by x whole square, and put x plus 1 by x is equal to t or x minus 1 by x equal to t as required. Now, substitution for some irrational integrand, right? You have to remember, if you are given this integrand of this form, root over a minus x upon a plus x, or root over a plus x upon a minus x, put x is equal to a cos 2 theta. If integrand of the form root over x upon a plus x, or root over a plus x upon x, or root over x into a plus x, or 1 upon root over x into a plus x, x is equal to a tan square theta or x equal to a cot square theta. Third, if it is given that root over x upon a minus x, root over a minus x upon x, and root over x into a minus x, or 1 by root over x into a minus x, put x is equal to a sin square theta or x equal to a cos square theta, right? So after doing this substitution, these integrands will be in the simplified form, right? Okay, so let's discuss next method, like if integrand of the form root over x upon x minus a, root over x minus a upon x, or root over x into x minus a, or 1 upon root over x into x plus minus a, put x is equal to a sec square theta. If integrand is of the form dx upon x minus alpha into beta minus x, or integration of root over x minus alpha upon beta minus x dx, or integration of root over x minus alpha into beta minus x dx, or then put x is equal to alpha cos square theta or plus beta sin square theta. If it is of the form integration of dx upon px plus q root over ax plus b, put ax plus b is equal to t square. Integration of dx upon ax square plus bx plus c into root over px plus q, put px plus q is equal to t square. Next one is dx upon px plus q root over ax square plus bx plus c. Put px plus q is equal to 1 by t. Integration of dx upon px square plus q root over ax square plus b. Put x is equal to 1 by t, and then a plus bt square is equal to z square, right? You have to remember these substitution. Once you will do different types of question by using these substitution, you will remember by doing practices of all the questions, right? Next one is integration by parts. It is very important method of integration. That is, if we are given product of two integration, then if u and v are two functions of x, then integration of u into v dx can be written as u integration of v dx minus integration of du by dx into integration of v dx, clear, and dx. You have to remember these forms, right? Clear. Once you will do 2 or 3 questions by using integration of by parts, you will easily remember these formulas, right? Also, other than that, you can try to remember each and every formula, right? Now, we use the following preference in order to select the first function, right? So, see here, uh, u is first, v is second, right? So, what will be the preference order to select the first function, right? So, it can be written as ilet, where I can be written as inverse function. L is basically logarithmic function. A is algebraic function. T is trigonometric function, and E is exponential function. These are basically uh, the following. These are basically the preference in order to select the first function, right? So if there are two functions, suppose inverse function and trigonometric function, then we will choose inverse function as the first function and trigonometric function as second function, right? Like this. So if one of the following functions is not directly integrable, then we take it as a first function, right? If it is not directly integrable, then we generally take it as a first function. If both the functions are directly integrable, then first function is chosen in such a way that the derivative vanishes easily, or the function obtained in integral sign is easily integrable, right? You have to keep in mind. Next one is, if one of the following, if only one of which is not directly integrable function is there, example integration of log x dx, then one is taken as the second function, right? If only one of which is not directly integrable, right? function Function is there, that is, suppose integration of log x there, then in this type of case, we can take one as a second function, right? Now let's discuss some more special integrals based on integration by parts. So these formulas are based on integration of by parts. So integration of e to the power e to the power x fx plus f dash x dx can be directly written as fx e to the power x plus c. These formula are derived from by using integration by parts. Okay. Next one is integration of 8 e to the power ax sine bx plus c dx is equal to, you have to remember these formulas, e to the power ax upon a square plus b square, a sine bx plus c minus b cos bx plus c plus k. Next one is integration of e to the power ax cos bx plus c dx is equal to e to the power ax upon a square plus b square into a cos bx plus c plus b sine bx plus c plus k. Here c and k are integration constant, right? Next one is integration by partial fractions. Integration by partial fractions. To evaluate the integral of the form integration of px upon qx dx, where px qx are polynomial in x with degree of px less than degree of qx and qx not equal to 0, we use the method of partial fraction. The partial fractions depend on the nature of the factors of qx. According to the nature of factors of qx, corresponding form of partial fractions is given below. Now, if qx is basically x minus a1 into x minus a2 into x minus a3 till x minus an, then we assume that px upon qx is a1 upon x minus a1 plus a2 upon x minus a2 plus a3 upon x minus a3 till an upon x minus an, right? These are the basically integration by partial fractions. Okay. So the summary of this lecture that we have discussed in today's class. So we have first discussed integration as an antiderivative, which can be explained as a function phi x is called an antiderivative. Is called an antiderivative of function fx if phi dash x is equal to fx, if f1x and f2x f2x are two antiderivatives of fx, then f1x and f2x differ by a constant. The collection of all its antiderivatives is called indefinite integral of fx and is denoted by integration of fx dx. Further, we have discussed properties of different properties of indefinite integrals. After that, we discussed fundamental integration formula. We have seen different methods of integration, and after that, in the last, we have seen integration using trigonometric identities. Okay, so in this way, we have discussed theory portions of indefinite integrals. That is, uh, once we do the questions, we will see that we have discussed each and every type of concepts, how to apply the concepts, and if these forms are given, how to approach these forms using questions. Okay, so hope you like the lecture, and hope you understand each and every concept and how to apply these concepts. Okay, thank you so much.